Hello, I am Dome Acolyte. I work with the Archivist to make the custom Mansions of Madness scenarios for the Lost Chronicles stream. So a lot of our players are interested in making their own custom scenarios, and a lot of them will ask me how it works. It is very complicated, and I had to learn by reading this like massive long 500-page Google Docs walkthrough, which I'm sure you can find, but it was very difficult to teach myself with that. So yeah, since there's not a lot of guides out there, I thought I'd make my own and walk people through making scenarios for themselves. I don't consider myself an expert at it. As I said, it's very complicated. There's a lot of features that I still don't understand. So yeah, if you're watching this thinking I'm saying anything wrong or you can do better, please do. I'm not very good at it. But I can make a scenario, so I thought I'd make it a bit easier for anyone else. This is going to be a bloody long video because there is a lot to cover. So if there's something specific you're interested in, I will put some timestamps in the description to show you what's at which points, but there's going to be a lot of kind of subtle things which aren't necessarily going to have their own section, so I do recommend you watch the whole thing, maybe boot up the app and kind of work along with me as we go. But yeah, either way, hopefully you find it useful, and yeah, let's go. Right, so before you even boot up the app, what you're going to want to do is get some notes down. I like to use a pen and paper, but I've just jotted some notes down on Google Docs just so you can see what they are. So what I'm thinking is 5 people enter a temple looking for treasure, get trapped inside. Pretty basic Indiana Jones kind of stuff. Obviously we're going to be using some Path of the Serpent expansion stuff for this, but that's not really important. We can use whatever we want going in. So the objective, as you can probably imagine, solve some puzzles, escape with your life. Now, most important thing about a custom scenario, in my opinion, is coming up with something original, like a hook, like a new gameplay mechanic, something that makes it worth playing instead of just the original basic scenarios. So the twist for this one, there is an easy ending where one investigator can escape and the rest can die. So it's not exactly PvP, but it encourages you to maybe be a little bit less trusting of others, even if they're not insane. So I think that could be kind of fun. Alright, so I'm going to keep making notes as I go. I'll show you those as we get to them, but yep, for now this is what we're working with. So Mansions of Madness custom scenarios are made on an app called Valkyrie. I'm not going to include a download link because if you can't use Google, you're probably not ready for custom Mansions of Madness scenarios. So go ahead and download Valkyrie, and we're going to make ourselves a new scenario. Here are my old ones, very proud of those. Yeah, so new scenario 8, and let's just give that a name. The Temple of Very Bad Times. There we go. It's not very dramatic. I mean, maybe think of something better later. We'll see. So the first thing you want to do in your scenario is to design the map. In official scenarios, the map can change every time you play. That's certainly possible in custom, but it's very difficult and not really worth the effort. So we're just going to lay out a map for the game to take place on. So to do that, I'm going to click this little window up here. It says scenario right now. That means like the default menu, but we can click that whenever we want to add anything else. So for now, we want to add map tiles. So give that a click. I'm going to click tile. I'm going to make a new tile. So here we go. The first tile of our new map. So click image to select the new tile, what we want it to be basically. Okay, and here are all our options. Default, it's only going to show you base scenarios, base expansion tiles. So we're going to uncross Path of the Serpent. And down here, you can narrow it down by like genre. So let's look at all the temple tiles. So here they are. Alright, so let's kick things off in the throne room. Very ominous, very spooky. So turn that around, click rotate a couple times. So there it is. To move it, so there's nothing here relative now, but I'm just going to move it over here to kind of where we started. This little glowy circle is kind of where you pick up and drop the thing from. But we don't click that, we click these two here, snap or free. For map tiles, you're mostly going to want to use snap, so you'll see what that means. Click snap. That's going to snap like a grid position, so here, 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 or here. That'll make more sense later, but right, we also need to give it a name, very important. We're going to have a lot of components, they all need to have clear, concise names. So for the most part, you're literally just going to name it after what it is. So throne chamber. There we go. So now if you want to find it again, we're going to click there, click tile, throne chamber. There it is, easy. Especially easy since it's the only one, but you know. Alright, so now let's just put another one down just to get the idea. So a new tile. It's going to default back to alley 1. So that's the first one, alphabetically I assume. So snap, move it over here, and again. Alright, so let's find a good image for that. So again, we have to click Path of the Serpent, narrow down by temple. So next to the throne chamber, let's have this one. What's this? That is the storage chamber. Alright, so as before, we're just going to spin that around. See the part you hold it from is there, so I'm going to move that to here. So I'm going to click snap, move it there, done. Alright, okay, let's say we want one over here. So now we're going to need a door to go here. Try not to overuse doors. Just to make it easier if you're playing in real life, you don't have to put a bunch of tokens down. Try and fit them out pieces together as best you can. So first of all, as before, we'll rename that storage chamber. Right, and now we're going to put a token down. So pretty much the same deal. This one is not a tile. This is a token, so we need to unclick tile and select token. We're going to make a new token. And so here you can kind of see where snap is useful. So I'm going to snap this to the wall here. So it's right there in the middle on the wall. We don't want a search token. So same as with the tiles. We're going to click that and select a door. There it is. Right, so I think as before, there are some good ones in Path of the Serpent, aren't there? Yeah, so there's some like temple looking doors. So I'll pick that one. And there we go. Now with tokens, you're going to have a lot more tokens than tiles, so it is very important that you name them something that makes it easy to find later. So I'm going to name it door storage. So we're going to have like 1,000,000 tiles. I'm going to be able to narrow them down alphabetically to find all the doors, and then find the one in storage. So easy. That's going to make it a lot easier later on. Right, so there we've got 2 doors, 2 tiles connected to each other, and room for a third one off this way. So I'm going to keep going. I'm going to build up my map. Let's skip ahead to when I've done that. All right. Okay, so here's what I've got. I'm thinking this one I put down first is where we're going to start. And then as you can see, you've got adjoining chambers heading around here in a little circle, and a few little chambers off the side here. So I'm thinking you could go around, solve some puzzles, and then at the very end, there's going to be like some kind of boss fight in the sunlit chamber. Okay, so as I said, I've mostly tried to keep them so that they connect without extra tokens. I've got another door token up here. Let's keep doing that. Oh, right, yeah. Yep, so little door there. And yeah, that all fits together pretty well. So now we're going to need to start putting some tokens down. So we saw how we put the token down earlier, put some doors down. Next thing we're going to put down is explore tokens. So new token, and we're going to put these here. So this is explore throne room. Right, so this one's pretty simple. The next one's going to be a bit more complicated. I'm going to sort this out first. So let's skip ahead to once this is done. Alright, so now we've got 2 explore tokens. Here this one says explore throne room 0, because there's another one. Right, so this one's simple because we can only go through these doors one way. If we've explored these by going around, then this token's just going to disappear. This door, however, this could be explored from either way. We could go this way or we could go this way. And because of that, we're going to need to put down 2 explore tokens. We're going to need to make it very clear which one's which. So I'm going to put one here and change it to an explore token. And I'm going to name it, so we've got storage chamber to statue chamber. So click the blue arrow to just go back to whatever you had selected last. So I'm going to call this one explore storage statue. You can't put any grammatical symbols in these, annoyingly, so Just gonna have to remember this means from storage to statue. All right, and now we're going to need to put another one down. So same thing, same place, another explore token, except as you can imagine this one is explore statue storage. Okay, I'm going to have to do that for all 3 of these doors, which can be explored from either side. And you'll understand why later, so let's just skip ahead so we've done all those. Okay, so I've put down my explore tokens. There's 1 here, here, and here, and there are 2 here, here, and here. So let's have a look. So we've got explore, statue mosaic, explore mosaic statue, etc., etc. So now, 2 things really quick. Firstly, I've renamed these ones explore throne room storage and explore the throne room antechamber to make it a bit easier. Second thing is I've noticed I've been saying the word so a lot. Sorry about that. I'm anxious, not going to stop, deal with it. Okay, right, so next thing we're going to break into some events. You're going to have hundreds of events in your scenario. When you're playing a Mansions of Madness scenario, literally any time text pops up on the screen to tell you something or say something's happening, each one of those is an event, and we're going to need to do like each and every one of them. Alright, so let's jump into that. We're going to kind of start working our way through the scenario like chronologically now, so we're going to make a little introduction and tell it to start putting down our first tiles. Okay, so let's jump into that. Like with the tiles and tokens, we go to the top left. We're not going to do a tile. This one is our first event. New event. Alright. So when an event happens, can happen for various reasons, because you've clicked on a token and it's led to it happening. But this one is the first event for when the game starts. So we're going to click trigger. General event start. That means this is what happens right at the start of the game. You can have more than one of these event starts. I don't know how to change their order, so if you do have others, it's generally to like create a random number to add some variations to the game. Like, for instance, in my Coven of Antoine Manor scenario, there's an event start which doesn't say anything. It just kind of sneakily assigns a number which determines which is the traitor. Hopefully that made sense if you've played that or watched that scenario. Hopefully it made sense if you didn't. So, first scenario, give it a name. Even more important than the tokens, that this event can be found later. So we're going to name this one 00 begin. So this is always going to be right at the start when we alphabetize our scenarios. The rest of our events, even the rest of the events, are going to be named based on the room they happen in, or if they're Mythos events. That should sort out most of them. Anything else comes up, we can name it accordingly, or use numbers again, whichever we find easier. So event 00 begin. I'm just going to say this now. I'm going to phone it in on the flavor text here. This is not a writing class. I'm sure there are other videos on YouTube that will walk you through that. So let's just write something quick and easy. 5 people went looking for treasure in a spooky temple, and they crossed the threshold. The door slammed shut behind them, sealing them inside. Place the throne room chamber. No, wait, what's it called? The throne chamber. Right, so let's go back. It's the throne chamber tile as indicated. Okay, so when this text comes up at the start of the game, we're going to add component tile, and now you can see why it's important to make it clear which is which. Throne chamber, and we're going to want the camera to lock in on this one, which not as important in the first event, but later on we're going to make sure people can see what they're looking at. So click unused until it says camera, and it's already where we want it to be, so it's right there. But if we did want to move it, same as with tiles, click snap where it wants to go, or free if you want it to go somewhere specific. So snap middle of the silently throne chamber. We'll lock right there, put that down, and it's going to add components. Right, so once someone's clicked continue, we're going to want that to lead to another event. So because we've put some flavor text here, dialogue, people are going to see this, and then these buttons are going to appear. So they're going to click continue, and right now, if they did that, the window would just close, but we don't want that to happen. We want to move on to the next event. So we're going to click plus, and clicking continue will cause event 0 to happen. So we're going to name that 00 begin as well. I'm just going to copy that and paste it later. Because we've already got one, this is going to become 00 begin 0, and then 1 and 2 and so on. Right, so the investigators look around at their prison anxiously. Place the investigator tokens as indicated. That's not right. Just place the investigators as indicated. Okay. We're not going to move the camera for this one because it should already be where it's supposed to be. So we're going to add components. We're going to add a token, new token. We're going to click free this time, and we're going to put it right here by the door. Free. Oh, because I'm still on the event, that's why. And it's unused. My mistake. Okay, so we're going to click the blue arrow to move to the token, which we're on now. As I said, moving it over here. And this token is going to be investigators throne room. Throne room. And not a search token, this is the investigator token. So not actually a token, it's just going to flash up on the app. Right, now annoyingly, that will stay there for the rest of the game unless we tell it to remove it for some reason. So we have to remember on the next event to remove that from the board. So let's make our next event. Move to it. Event 00 begin 1. And first thing we're going to do is remove those investigators. So we've got a lot of these now. So to narrow it down, right now this 1 means chronological order. We want alphabetical order. So we've got doors, we've got explores, and we've got investigators. So easy, remove the investigators from the throne room. All right. Now for this event, we want to, let's put some search tokens down. So something catches your eye amongst the ruins. Place a search token as indicated. So this is just going to be like an item they can pick up. So we're going to add another component, token. This is a new token, and we're going to move to that. Stick it over here, and we're going to call it search throne room item. Don't worry about spaces, those always get removed. I just do it by instinct, I guess. So we're going to ignore that for now. We'll get back to that later. And so once we've put that down, let's have another event for putting our explore tokens down. So this is event 00 begin 2. 2 doors lead deeper into the temple. Place explore tokens as indicated. I'm just going to go back quickly because I remembered I forgot to move the camera. So when we put down that search token, we're going to move the camera. I'm going to click free and move the camera over here. And then when we put our explore tokens down, we're going to move it back again. So let's move it down here. So 2 doors lead into temple, place explore tokens as indicated. So add components, token, and because we sorted them, very easy to find explore, throne room, antechamber, and storage. So that's that one, and add token, and throne room storage. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. Let's just click save and test to have a little look at that. No starting items, obviously. 5 people went looking for treasure in a spooky temple. When they crossed the threshold, the door slammed shut behind them, sealing them inside. Place the throne room chamber tile as indicated. But need to move the camera for that one as well. The investigators look around at their prison anxiously. Place investigators. Something catches your eye amongst the ruins. Place a search token. As you can see, the investigators have disappeared. And 2 doors lead deeper into the temple. Place explore tokens. Alright, so here we go. We've got our first tile. Investigators standing here waiting to explore. These don't do anything yet. So yeah, looking good so far. Alright, let's keep going. So, next thing we're going to do is a little explore event. So I'm going to right click here. It's going to show us everything we've clicked on, so the tile and the token. We're going to go to the token, the throne room, to the storage explore. So when you click on the token, this dialog here is what's going to flash up on the screen. So I'm just going to put in a door leads deeper into the temple. So just throw an adjective in there just for some flavour. Assuming door. Okay. Nothing's going to happen when we click on it, so I'm going to add or remove anything. But now right down here, we have a button. So important to remember, with tokens, it's going to give you an automatic cancel button that you don't have to put one in. But with events, it doesn't. But because this is a token, we just need to put down explore, one of these little squiggly symbols, action, close squiggly. I don't know what those are called. So that's gonna be what people see when they click on that explore token, plus the invisible cancel option. So when someone clicks explore, that's going to lead to an event we are going to call storage explore. Right now, the thing to remember about storage explore is that it is not what happens when you click this token specifically. Like it is, but it's not just that. It's the generic explore event for this room, and you'll see why that's important in a bit. So you enter a cramped chamber full of stone chests. Place the storage chamber, is that what it's called? Yes. The storage chamber tile as indicated, and remove all explore tokens to the explored area. So camera locks on here. We add the storage chamber tile, and as we just said, we remove all tokens, explore tokens, leading to the area. So we got statue to storage, and we got throne room to storage. So this is why it's a generic event. So we've got to make sure we're covering all our bases depending on which area you've moved from. So when we explore, it's very important. We're gonna talk about tests now. So tests are going to come up a lot, and they're basically just an arbitrary number we assign to a value to call on later. That might not make a lot of sense in theory, but hopefully it makes more sense in practice. So right now, we're going to add a new test. I beg your pardon, no, this isn't a test. We're going to assign a value. So we're going to assign a new value. Explore storage. And explore storage is now equal to 1. So a lot of these tests are basically just like binary. So for the sake of this one, 0 means no, 1 means yes. So explore storage is now 1. Yes, it's happened. By default, it's 0. So ordinarily that would be that. But now the game knows storage chamber has been explored. That's going to be important later. Let's put in just kind of a little generic event for something that happens in here. So storage place, I don't know, let's say brand. So we're going to put down the Time Worn brand. See a weapon you can hopefully make use of the time worn brand common item as indicated. Alright, so we're going to add a common item, quest item, new quest item, and I'm going to go into more details on items later, but it's not what we're talking about right now, so I'm just going to breeze through this quickly. Pay attention if you want, but I'm going to go into more detail later. So, time-worn brand, take away the weapon for reasons you'll see later. As before, give it a name, and that is being added. I'm going to go highlights to make sure it shows us a picture of the brand. I'm going to go there. So this is an event now, putting down a weapon. So I'm going to put in another event, but this is important. We're going to put in more than one event because there's more than one possibility here. We've done the generic explore, but now one of two things is going to happen. Either we have or we haven't explored the statue chamber. So the first thing we're going to do is an event for if we haven't. So this is storage, place, statue, explore. Okay, so this is where a test comes in. So imagine we've already put down the statue and done all the explore stuff for that. You'll remember what we will have done is assigned explore statue equals 1. So assuming that has happened, we're going to do a test, new one, explore statue. So assuming that hasn't happened, so if and only if explore statue equals 0, only if we haven't explored it, are we going to activate this event and put down this explore token. Alright, so another door leads deeper into the temple. The shadows of tall objects are cast ominously from within. Okay, and if that happens, we add the token leading from the statue, the storage to statue. Okay, and the other event is going to be very generic. It's going to come up a lot, so we're just going to call it 00, you may move. And it's going to be a very familiar phrase. You may move one space into the explored area. So that's going to come up a lot, which is why I've given it a generic name. That's going to happen after, no, it's going to happen instead of the place statue. Or if we do put the statue down, and don't forget to move the camera. Once it does, then it's going to happen after that. So 00, you may move. All right, so it's kind of like a little pyramid. It can be either this, then that, or just straight to that. A little test there. To put that down, and then after that we move to you may move. So it's a bit technical, hopefully it makes sense. Let's move on, do the same thing for the statue chamber. And yeah, before we do that though, remember we've got this token here, explore statue to storage, and we're going to want this to also lead to that event we just did for exploring. So a door leads back towards the throne chamber. So this is for if you're in the statue chamber and you haven't explored this yet. So then we're going to do another explore action, and if you click it, guess what happens? It's a storage explore. So then we go back to this, put the brand down, and then because we will have explored the statue chamber, it will go straight to you may move. Okay. So now we've got explore tokens finished for both of the tokens leading into the storage chamber. So now let's do one for explore from storage to statue. Okay, so Just going to pretty much copy what we did earlier. So, and explore action, and if you click that, that will lead you to statue explore. Okay. So yeah, let's just go through that again. Then I'll skip ahead to the next part once we've done this together. So just a quick refresher. I'm going to go over this one again. So as before, this is the generic explore the statue chamber event. So all ghoulish statues tower overview. And place the statue chamber tile as indicated and remove explore tokens the explored area. So camera's already in the right place. We're going to add the statue chamber tile, and I'm going to remove explore tokens from storage to statue and mosaic to statue. Okay, right, for this one, let's have a monster appear. So the first event is not going to be an event, it's going to be a spawn. Exactly the same as an event, but with monsters. So spawn, we're going to put a monster, put it over here, and we're going to call it statue. Let's spawn a feathered serpent. Okay, so this is going to spawn, same as before. Click on our Path of the Serpent expansions, feathered serpent. There's a lot of fancy stuff we can put in here to add special features, special health standards, but we're just going to put a plain old default feathered serpent, nice and simple. This works very similar to an event. We can add items, flavor text, obviously. So a feathered serpent as indicated, and I've spelt serpent wrong in the name. Serpent. Okay, so because we put some text in, the first button appears, so I was going to say continue, and that's going to lead to our next event. So before we make that little tree we went over earlier, we're going to have an event to put down this explore token, because this is always going to be here, because we can't have explored this first. So statue place ruined explore. Another door leads deeper into the temple. Lowercase t. And explore token as indicated. Add token explore statue to where is it? Oh, I just called it explore ruined. Shouldn't have done that. And yeah, so that's the importance of proper alphabetization. And the good thing is, if we rename it, it will stay where we just put it. So we'll explore statue to ruined, and that's still there. We're still adding that for this event. Don't forget to move the camera. All right, so now we're going to put down the events that lead to those two explore tokens, potentially. So I'm going to make two new events, and the third one is just going to be the you may move event. So let's start with the storage one. So this one is only going to happen if, we're going to put down a test, this event will only happen if explore storage equals 0. Right. As before, it's back to the throne room. Okay. Add statue to storage. Snap. Oh, right, camera. Okay, so if there's like, right now there can only be 2 doors to put down. If there were more, we could have like a whole line, so after this one, we can maybe move on to put this one down. Like we go straight to that event 1 event. But because there's only 2 doors we can be exploring from, if we're putting down the throne room, we're not also going to put down Mosaic. So after we've put down the throne room tile, we can go straight along to You May Move. Okay. So now we're going to do the same thing for the event 1, which is of course statue place Mosaic. And this one is only going to happen if, so we haven't put that one down yet, so test if explore Mosaic is 0. Okay, add components. No, not a new token, I mean. Delete that. Explore statue to Mosaic. And then once we put that down, You May Move. Okay, so that's how it works. After we put this one down, we've got options. We can put down either one of these two, or if we've like explored here, then gone the other way around. So we've explored all, then we go straight to You May Move. So that only happens if we haven't explored storage. That one happens if we haven't explored Mosaic. And sooner or later, this one will happen no matter what. Okay, so hopefully you're all following. If not, just follow blindly and eventually it'll settle in. I'm going to do the events for the rest of these. And yeah, we'll see how that looks. All right, see you in a bit. So clockwise first, then we'll see how it looks the other way. So let's see me door these deeper into the temple. Explore, that's going to go into our storage explore. One thing I forgot to say earlier, hopefully you figured it out. When we do storage explore, as well as putting down the tile, we also have to put this wall down, because otherwise it won't. So you enter a cramped chamber full of stone chests, place the storage chamber tile as indicated, remove all explore tokens to the explored area. There's our Time Worn brand, and then because we haven't explored the Mosaic chamber, we get this event. The door leads deeper into the temple, and You May Move. Okay, so put some flavor text on here, which will lead us to the Explore Statue Chamber. I said Mosaic earlier, I meant statue, you know what I mean. Yep, tall ghoulish statues, etc. Serpent appears, and then we've got door leads deeper into the temple, and then we've got our next logic tests. Has the storage chamber been explored? Yes. Has the Mosaic chamber been explored? No. So that means we're going to move on to a door leads deeper into the temple based on explore token is the Mosaic. And then because the only available option is You May Move, that's what we get. Okay, so same thing here. I did forget to assign the value for the statue chamber earlier as well. So when we explore statue, that becomes a 1. Okay, here's the Mosaic chamber. Looks like some of the tiles can be moved across the floor. Another little search token there. There's a corpse people can investigate, probably going to make them suffer some horror. 2 doors there, haven't done anything with those yet. Those are just explore tokens, and the explore token back to the Mosaic, the antechamber. There's also, obviously, an event to explore back this way, but because we've explored the statue chamber, that doesn't pop up. So we move on to You May Move. So then the last one, chamber expands outwards, already empty. What was it used for? There's a search token there to look at some glyphs on the wall, and then because no more explore tokens to put down, You May Move. All right. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. Just have a look at what I was saying earlier. So for exploring storage, as well as for the add components, as well as tile storage chamber, we've also got tile door storage, just this little door token we put down. All right. And for all the other explore actions, events, like the statue, each one has explore statue equals 1 to say it's been explored. And that determines which explore tokens we put down at the end of the events, like event chains. So storage only goes down if storage equals 0. Alright, so yeah, I'd say that's all looking pretty good. Okay, now let's put some basic search events down. So we put this search token down here earlier. It just said something glitters amongst the rubble. So we're going to put some flavor text for when the token is clicked on. Something is concealed by the tumbling debris. Okay, and when that happens, so we're going to have search action, and remember from before, because this is a token, it will automatically add a cancel button if people change their minds. But if they do click it, then it's going to lead us to an event. Let's call it throne room item. So let's have them pick up an item. So let's talk a bit more about items now. Right, so let's make a new item. Now, setting up items is my least favorite thing about the app. It is stupid how it's set up, and I keep waiting for them to update it. So hopefully soon. In the meantime, let's say we want this to be any one of a few items. So click item, like maybe we want it to be I don't know, firearm. We can have it. So it's any firearm. So we sit down here, traits, weapon, firearm. Now that could be any firearm right now. It could be literally anything. It could be a pistol, it could be a Gatling gun, it could be a carbine rifle. It's very rare you're just going to want that, because you need to measure how much power you want people to have. So from then on, anything you add, so here, so say the shotgun, that shotgun has now been vetoed. So this weapon can now be anything, any weapon, any firearm weapon except the shotgun. So you're probably thinking pretty easy, just go to firearm, just take out all the superpower ones, give someone just a random mini revolver. No such luck. Because by any, I mean any firearm. So still not that many, not a great example, but say you wanted like a common item, not a firearm. There are bloody dozens of them, hundreds even. So if you wanted to give them like, maybe a pocket watch, maybe a magnifying glass, you're gonna have to spend like a solid hour ticking off all of these. So instead, forget that. No traits. We're gonna specify a specific item, common item. Let's say something small, not too OP, so like a pocket watch. So because we haven't specified traits, this is now this item, pocket watch only. Rename watch. But say we do want it to be a random item, not the end of the world. All we have to do is set up specific events for each item it could be. And back here, where it says ordered, we're going to click it, click that, change it to random. So we're going to put a few events down here, and it could be any one of them. So let's put down 3 events just for now. And so instead of item, I'm going to change it to throne room pocket watch. Okay. And let's just set up our other 2 items. So let's just pick a couple of meager things. Bandages, pretty useful. Remember to remove trait. Otherwise, that's just going to be a random weapon. And a torch. Seems like the kind of thing you'd find at a temple. Okay. So we got 3 events. Could be any one of them because it's random. And this is all under this one button. So when you click search action, it could be any one of these 3 events. And then, as before, the other button is going to be cancel. So, throne room, bandages, and go back. Throne room, torch. Okay, so we go. Okay, so you search through the rubble, find something you can use, gain the pocket watch common item, and remove this search token. So add quest item, pocket watch, remove token, search, throne room item. Okay. And then we're going to copy this text. And we're going to do the same thing for the other two. So instead of a pocket watch, this one's going to be bandages. So add quest item, bandages, remove token item. Alright, okay, so let's just skip ahead to when I've done the next one. Okay, so here we are in the throne room. I did just edit out the bit where I accidentally put in the influence icon, so now that's fixed. Something is concealed by the crumbling debris, and look at that, it's the torch. And the search token's gone, so that's nice. Alright. Alright, now, as I often do when I'm making a scenario, I'm going to go back and add something in. So as you might notice, I've added 2 new tokens here. So to just kind of slip those into the statue explore event, I'm on the serpent spawn event, which normally leads to placing this explore. See the event statue playthrough and explore. So instead of that, I'm just going to sneak another event in here, go to that. Just going to squiggle some text in here because that's going to give us a continue button. And then that is going to lead to statue playthrough and explore. Alright, so get rid of that. And now I've just got a new event in here, which we're just going to call statue place chests. So this event is going to be a chest you have to open, which is going to require some skill checks, which we haven't done yet, so that's exciting. 2 stone chests, seal unknown treasures. Put the camera in between them there, and add components. Since I just put these down, we can search chronologically. Statue's chest and statue's hard chest. Okay, so those will be there when someone explores. Then on to this one, and then placing either of these, and then you may move, as you may remember. Okay, so we've got 2 new search tokens now. The regular chest. Okay, so people are going to click on search for this, not knowing what skill check is approaching. And I'm going to go to the first event after that's happened. Statue chest. The chest lid is very heavy. Make a strength test. Alright, so we want the player to see a number slider to put in their result on between 1 to 10. So we're going to click down here, quota number, and we're just going to say, let's say 1. So result of 1 is needed. Alright, and we're going to add another button, but this isn't going to show up as a button. So this is going to, for our benefit, click pass and fail. So for the fail, just says you couldn't get the chest open. That's it. Nothing happens. Chest isn't open. And we'll just call that statue chest fail. Okay, and for the pass, we can call this statue chest pass. The chest springs open, like Jack in the Box, I guess. You get, I don't know, let's say 2 clues, just so we don't have to put in another item, but generally, yeah, you put in an item there, as we did before. Alright, and of course, since you succeeded, you remove this search token. Remove token statue's chest. Alright, so let's give that a try. Okay, so here we are in the statue chamber. Stone chest hides its treasures from you. the chest is very heavy, make a strength test. So let's see what happens if we fail first. Let's say we roll a 0, snake eyes. Couldn't get the chest open. Damn. Let's try again. We roll a 1 this time. Hey, the chest is open. You get 2 clues. Okay, and the search token's gone. Awesome. Now this next one, this is going to be the hard chest. This one is going to have an accumulative roll, so it's going to be very heavy. Very heavy, imposing stone chest looms over you. So for this, we need 2 values. Let's set up the event first. So as before, we're going to give a search button and an action, which is going to lead to statue hard chest. Okay, and this time, instead of a specific number, we're going to add a new value. So let's call it chest open. Right, so a variable chest open, they're going to put in a number between 1 and 10, and that's what it's gonna that's what that value is going to be equal to. So you heave against the heavy lid, make a strength check. Okay, right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to head over to a event which the player is not going to see. So we're going to call it statue hard chest test. Unintended rhyme. So this is going to do some basic mathematics to figure out whether or not the chest opens. So it's going to assign a new value, which we're going to call chest open total. So the total accumulative number of points earned, which is 0 by default. But after this, we are going to add chest open. So every time we get to this event, we're going to add this to this. So until that's high enough to open the chest. So there are going to be 3 possible results after this. So we're going to make a button, which they're not going to see, and 3 possible events. So first event is total failure. So statue hard chest fail. And this is going to happen if the number put in, chest opened, is exactly 0, so no difference. You miss your footing and collapse against the chest, failing to push it at all. Okay, so nothing happens. Next possibility is you roll higher than 0, but still don't open it. So we're going to call this statue hard chest pass. The lid moves slightly, but is not open yet. So this is going to happen if chest open is greater than 0, but also chest open total is less than whatever our accumulative number should be. So let's say 5 total. So we've made some damage, but it's not open yet. It's less than 5. Okay, and the third one obviously is the chest opens. So we'll call this statue chest open complete. Which, as you can imagine, we're going to do another test. Chest open total is greater than or equal to 5. Make sure it's not one or the other, because then you might miss out. All right. So the lid moves off with a crash, gain 5 clues and become focused. Alright, nice reward there, and don't forget, and remove this search token. Remove token statue's chest hard. Okay, so let's give that a go. Alright, we're going to open the imposing chest. Let's roll a 0 first. Miss your footing, collapse, failing to push it at all. Now we roll, let's say, a 3. The lid moves slightly, not open yet. Let's roll a 1 this time. Still not there. And one more. And now it's open. So yeah. A cumulative skill check is always useful for a difficult barrier you want to overcome, like a heavy chest or a hard door, or even an influence test to persuade someone of something that you don't want to do. All good options. Alright, so let's move on. Okay, so now let's put in a puzzle. So I have this fun little idea remember how I said sliding tiles earlier? So when you click the sliding tiles, that triggers a puzzle event. When it's solved, you get a password that will let you open this door. Right, so let's set up the puzzle first. So some flavor text. The floor look as if they could be arranged to form a picture. So anyone reading that is going to think, okay, yep, puzzle. Not too discreet, but that's not always a bad thing. Alright, so search action, and when they do, that's going to lead to an event, which is going to kind of set up the puzzle. Okay. You begin to carefully manipulate the tiles. Click to attempt the event using your... Okay, so, and I forgot to say earlier, you've got these little buttons up here, which are shortcuts for that little squiggly icon up here thingy. So right there, but it always appears at the start, which is why I prefer to just type it in. So what we want is probably observation. So same thing, squigglies, observation. Just cut and paste that over there. Okay, so then when you click continue, it's not going to lead to an event, it's going to lead to a puzzle. So this is the mosaic puzzle, just mosaic, because it already knows it's a puzzle. Puzzle, mosaic. Sliding tiles, obviously. Oh, image, yeah. Oh yes, of course, so the sliding is the lot picking one where you're sliding the things left and right to get the bar across. We want image. And we can click image here to choose the one we want. So let's see, I think this one is the most appropriate. Spacey ones, investigative ones, machines. So yeah, I'm thinking the spooky, the runes. Level 4 alt levels. This is basically columns and rows. So let's just go 3 by 3, nice standard one. Doesn't have a trigger because the event leads us to this. So the trigger, it could be like I said before, it could be the event start or the start of the Mythos round. None of that. It only happens when you click this token. Okay, click it doesn't make a component appear. And right, when you click a guess, that's when you finished it. So when you finished, you get the following event. So we're just going to call this puzzle complete. And that's going to give you the password you need to unlock this door. So the tiles in the right place, you realize they form a hieroglyph you know roughly translates to the word banana. Just being a bit silly there. Doesn't actually matter what the password is. All that matters is that the test has been completed, and when it has, we're going to assign the value mosaic puzzle to 1. So by default it's 0, now mosaic puzzle is 1, meaning it's been completed. Alright. You know, let's be generous and throw in a clue. So there's no like official setting in the app to say you've gotten a clue. The app never knows how many clues you have, so we just tell the players, give yourself a clue. Gain 1 clue and remove this search token. So as a result of solving the puzzle, the mosaic puzzle is going to disappear and puzzle value is going to be assigned to 1. So what does that mean? Well, when you go to this door over here, this is going to be the door that requires the password. So instead of having one thing on this door, because when you haven't got the password, I don't want it to be possible to open it at all. So I don't just want one flavor text, I want two options, which means we're going to not put anything in dialogue. Instead, it's going to lead to one of two events. Okay, so event number 1 is only going to come up if mosaic puzzle equals 0. So we're going to call this mosaic door puzzle not complete. Bit of a mouthful, but it's still going to work alphabetically, so it shouldn't be too hard to find. Ominous door bars your entry with no visible means of opening it. On the door are carved words which roughly translate to speak the password or seal your fate. Ominous. Okay, and so yeah, we're just going to have to continue, which means look away, can't do anything about it, you don't know the password. Alternatively, don't worry about button 1, by the way, because there's no dialogue here. You're not going to see any of this, just as I said, straight to the first viable event, which could be this one, if mosaic puzzle has been completed. By default, it's greater than 0, but I like to set it to equals 1 just because it makes me feel better. But you could just leave it to greater than 0, because it's the same thing, basically, if the only options are 0 or 1. Mosaic door complete. Alright, so if you know the password, it's going to say the door, confident in your knowledge of the password. So remember, this is an event, not a token, which means we have to add our own cancel button. But for our initial option, we're going to have a little quotation marks, banana, as an action. All right. And if you do that, then as before, we're going to lead to a new explore event. So what's this? This is the bed chamber. So bed explore. Place the bed chamber and move this explore token. All right, so same as before, fix the camera, add tile bed chamber, and remove token explore mosaic bed. Okay, we'll leave it at that for now. I'm not sure what else I want in there right now. Probably some kind of end game mechanic, like you explore there, and you get here and there. But for now, we'll just leave it at that. So yeah, let's give that a little test, see how it looks. Alright, so let's go counterclockwise this time. There's a little opportunity to test it this way. Glyphs on the wall, door leads deeper into the temple, explore. Okay. Alright, so let's try and go through this door to the east. An ominous door bars your entry with no visible means of opening it. On the door are carved words which roughly translate to speak the password or seal your fate. Nothing we can do. What's the password? We don't know. So the tile on the floor look as if they could be rearranged to form a picture. Let's have a go. Alright, we can carefully manipulate the tiles. Click to attempt using your observation. And here we go. Here's our puzzle. Okay, hopefully I'm not going to have to skip past this because I'm going to solve it super quickly, since I've done this puzzle a bazillion times during investigations in the past. There we go. 17 guesses, not bad. Alright, with the tiles in the right place, you realize they form a hieroglyph you know roughly translates to the word banana. Gain one clue, remove this search token. Hopefully someone who sees that's going to think, yeah, haha, that's probably the password. Sure enough, you approach the door, confident in your knowledge of the password. Banana, and we're done. Alright, not bad. So, nice little hurdle for the investigators to overcome there, to get themselves in this room. where we'll add some more challenges for them to face. So yeah, looking good. Okay, so I've had some thoughts. You've got the puzzle to get into here, no puzzle to get into here, but both of these two rooms at each end are going to be like integral to get into here. What we're going to have is there's going to be a monster in here, like a priest of Dagon, I think. And when you're beating him, you get an item. And then you have to go in, or either order, and you go in here, talk to this guy, and he tells you how to use it. So I've already sorted all this out, the explore event. So yes, this is if part of the temple is ravaged by an earthquake, blah blah blah. Then we've placed this person who we're calling the Guardian. Across the room, you see what you think is a robed corpse. Before, to your astonishment, you see it move. Place a person token, and I've just added this token, which I've set to the white man picture. So tokens all essentially work the same way. So this person token, we're going to give him some dialogue. But I was thinking, what might be fun is if this guy goes walkabout, he wanders around the temple afterwards, which means we're going to need more person tokens. So let's put those down first. Okay, so now we've got 4 tokens, all with this guy's face on them, and none of them do anything just yet. So we're not going to have to, it's not going to be very difficult to make all these do the same thing. All we're going to do is when you click this token, there's going to be no dialogue. It's just going to go straight to this one event, which is going to like connect them all. So like I was saying before about some events you're not being able to put like one room on them. All this event is going to start with Guardian, and I'm just going to put Guardian 0. So for all the other events we have after this are going to appear later alphabetically. So if you want to change anything, it's going to be easy to find this and just go through the options to find it. So I'm just going to assign Guardian 0 to each of these tokens. So straight to, so right here, this is a good opportunity to sort alpha chronologically. So that was the last event I put in. And there it is. Now this guy as well. So the only trouble with this is going to be the same every time we see him. So it's going to have to be quite generic unless we branch out to more events from here. So yeah, that could be a good option actually. So let's have a new event straight from Guardian to Guardian first. So okay, and this is going to, so we're going to give you some conversation options here. Remember, this is an event, so as always, I'm going to put in a cancel option. So we could have, say to him, you live, or long have you been in here? Now the good thing about this is that it's 2 perfectly valid questions you might ask someone, and also if we're very clever with our wording, we could be quite lazy and give them both the same answer, which I have done in scenarios in the past, and I don't think anyone's noticed. Alright, so these, both of these events are going to lead to okay. So ask either of these questions, and he's going to say the following. So let's see. So I'm going to make this guy kind of a, weary, immortal, who's that guy in the Indiana Jones movie, the one who guards the goblet. I don't know. I haven't seen that for a while. All right, so death is a privilege. Did I say weary before? Let's just leave it at that. Death is a privilege. He's stuck here. He's immortal. He can't leave even by dying. He's a grumpy git. So that's your answer to either question. And once you've done that, we're going to assign the value Guardian first to 1 to say we have spoken to the Guardian. And let's see. So this is only going to come up if Guardian First hasn't been done yet. So if it equals 0, you're getting this. And then, once you've done that, talking to him will give you Guardian later. We don't really need a test for this because it's in order. So if it's not the first one, it's going to go to this by default. But let's just set it up anyway, just to be safe. Okay, so now once you got to this point, it's not so strained, like you're talking to this weirdo. So it's not, you're not wondering, oh, why aren't you asking him questions about who he is, where he came from? So now we can ask the real questions, like, how do we get out of here? Okay, so if you ask that, he's going to give you some tips on how to get in here and escape. Or we can say, I'm hurt, can you help? And if you take that option, maybe he heals some of your damage. Okay. And as always, cancel. Alright. So, let's do the I'm hurt one first. That's nice and easy. Okay. And can say using prone remove 2 damage. Alright, and we can't have people doing this over and over again because that would be crazy OP. So we're going to assign Guardian heal to 1. And then we're going to go back to this, and here this little question mark is going to decide whether or not we see this option. So we can disable it, just make it grayed out, but we want to hide it, so just make it completely vanish. So the option will only be there if the following test is passed. So Guardian heal has to equal 0, which means it won't hide, confusingly. So that test passes, which means we can do this option. And then once you've done that, it becomes 1 and no more healing. All right, and we'll do the same thing for this one, after which he'll just continue to linger around the temple. Okay, so how do we get out of here? Rude. Okay. So then he'll explain how to use it, which means once you've done both, you can get in here. You assure the man of your capability, and he eventually shares what he knows about the artifact and how to use it. Okay, so this would be a good chance for a persuade check, but I don't think that's really necessary right now. We'll go into that later, skill checks. For now, you just ask him how to use it, he tells you, and then we assign the get out, which is this is a value, not an event, so they can have the same name, to 1. And then we do the same here. Right? So we're going to hide that if Guardian get out, unless Guardian get out is 0. Right, so we're going to add another value as well for this. So as well as hiding the button, we're also going to assign this, which means sunlit challenge, let's call it. For sunlit challenge, we are going to add 1. So its default is 0. After you've done this, it's going to be 1 more. And after you've got the artifact from here, it's going to add another. And once they equal 2, you can get through this door. Alright. Okay, so I think this guy is all sorted now. It's looking pretty good. He's got his first interactions there. I think this is worth a clue. Kind of mean to waste everyone's time otherwise. Alright, so now let's just sort out the event to have him wandering around the map. So right now, he is only going to appear if you explore the ruined chamber. He shows up in there. But we want to have him kind of go walking about to these 4 rooms. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to assign a number to each of these 4 rooms. And to do that, we're going to head back to our notes. So let's take a look here. Let's say ruined chamber is 1, storage is 2, throne chamber can be 3, and mosaic is 4. Okay, so we're going to assign a value to this guy to tell the game and tell us which room he's in. So let's go back to Valkyrie and go back to the explore event for the ruined chamber. So back to alphabetical. Ruined event. Oh, that's strange. What do I name that? Let's go through the token. Oh, explore ruined. Yeah, that should be ruined explore. Okay. And then we place the guardian, and when we do this, we're going to assign guardian location to the value of 1. So this isn't binary. This is numbers meaning rooms. So as we said before, 1 equals ruined chamber. All right. So we're going to have him wander around randomly during the Mythos event. So I'm going to make an event. The trigger is going to be Mythos. And we're going to call it Mythos Guardian moves. And this is only going to happen if the Guardian's been discovered. So test explore ruined equals 1. So it's only going to start happening during the Mythos event once he's been found. Okay, and he could be wandering to any one of 4 rooms, except the one he's currently in. So I'm going to set that to random, and we're going to make 4 events. So rename moves ruined. Okay, whoops, and copy that, literally speaking. Then guardian moves storage. Guardian moves throne. And mosaic. Okay, so. Ruined, he's only going to move to the ruined chamber if he is not currently in the ruined chamber. So this is only going to work if guardian location is not equal to, that's what this means, exclamation mark, equal sign, if it's not equal to 1. So if he's anywhere else, he could move into the ruined chamber. The temple, the person token as indicated. Okay, and we're going to add person ruined. I don't think I set these up correctly. Yes, so let's just reassign these. So token person storage. Token person throne room and token person guardian. Alright. Okay, so he's going to move to the ruin chamber and we're going to remove all possible other person tokens. So moving all other persons and moving him to ruined if he's not already there. And because he is there now, we will now assign guardian location equals 1. Alright. So I'm going to do the same thing for all the others. I'll skip ahead, but I'll just show you this one quickly. So moving to storage, as you remember from earlier, storage is equal to 2. So this is only going to happen if guardian location is not 2. And once it has happened, guardian location will be 2. Right, so I'll set up all the add and removes, and I will see you once I've done that. Alright, so that's all set up. I think that's looking pretty good. So to move into ruined, he moves into ruined first of all, and remove him from everywhere else he might be. Only if his location is not 1, after which his location will be 1. Ditto for the others, moves into storage, moves out the others. Can't be 2, becomes 2. Can't be 3, becomes 3. And 4. One more thing we have to do is, obviously he can't move into a room that isn't on the board yet. So if we're talking to him, we already know we've explored the throne room, that's right at the start, and the ruined chamber, but we might not have mosaic or storage. So moves into storage can also only happen, we're going to add another test, if explore storage equals 1. Now we can set this to either or, but we want both of these things to be true. We need to have storage, and he can't be in storage. So both those things have to happen for that, and ditto for mosaic. Okay. Alright, so in theory I think that's ready to roll, so let's give that a little test. Alright, so here we are in the ruined chamber. I've already heroically slain the feathered serpent from the statue chamber. We approach the ancient weary looking stranger. How are you still alive? How long have you been in here? I'm not going to talk to him just yet, I'm going to leave him be. And yeah, I'm just going to sit around and wait. Oh, look at that, and he's moved. Okay, on to the temple. And again, off he goes. Now he's back there. Let's talk to him. How are you still alive? Death is a privilege. I'm almost sure I haven't spelled that right now that I read it. Anyway, we gained a clue, so it doesn't matter. Let's explore the mosaic chamber. That's nice. And yeah, off he goes. He's wandering around. Go to the mosaic chamber eventually, probably. There he goes. So he can go anywhere he likes now that all available areas have been explored. Okay, now we can ask him, how do we get out of here? There's a keeper of ancient treasure in the eastern wing of the temple, but he'll surely kill you before you can get your hands on it. He's sure of your capability, and he shares what he knows about the artifact and how to use it. Okay, if we talk to him again, we can ask him to heal us, or remove our damage, and now all options are run out. We haven't seen, it hasn't popped up or anything, but we have now assigned 1 to that value earlier, which when we're done in here will be 2, and then we can open this door. So yeah, let's get working on that. Okay, consequentially, synonym for so, we've got up the bed chamber explore event here. Consequentially, after you've put down the tile and removed the explore token, we're going to move on to a spawn event. Spawn, and not over there. It's going to appear here. And we're going to call it Bed Priest. It's all pieces of paedophile jokes here. And that is a Priest of Dagon. Okay. Place a Priest of Dagon as indicated. Alright, so now we have a Priest of Dagon. Now, we want there to be an event that kicks in when the priest has been eliminated. So we're going to make a new event, and this one is not going to be triggered by like a button or a token or anything like that. So we're going to go to trigger. This happens when the spawn we just set up has been killed. So when that priest has been eliminated, boom, this event happens. So I'm just going to give this one a number because it's going to be quite hard to find if I forget what it's been called. So that's going to be right at the start, 0, priest defeated. You shouldn't be here. The priest gasps with his dying breath as his body hits the floor. An item rolls from his pockets. So let's just find an item that would be appropriate as a door unlocking mechanism. So we probably want a unique item so the people don't lose it by accident. Let's have the cult sigil. That's a good unlocking device. Branch it to the door, door opens, makes sense. Okay. So we go back, priest defeated. Gain the sigil unique item. Actually, because he might have been shot or you defeated with a ranged spell, let's say place the cult sigil unique item on the priest of Dagon's space. Right, so that's on the floor now, which they can pick up. And once this has happened, we add 1 to Sunlit Challenge. So now once we've done both, that will be 2, and from both this and the conversation with the Guardian, we should add another event. So let's have 0 again. Sunlit Challenge complete. This is only going to happen if Sunlit Challenge is equal to 2. Alright, so let's just go through the Guardian's conversation options as well. How do we get out of here? To use it, okay, and this is also going to lead to this. If we've got 2 points in that, if we've done both things. Right, so now that you have the cult sigil and the stranger's advice, you know what to do. If you present the sigil to the door north of the big chamber, then pat your head and rub your belly. The door will grant you access. Alright, so hopefully the people doing that will have the dexterity to pat their head and rub their belly. That's just a joke, they won't actually have to do that. Alright, so once they've done that, this is just flavor text to explain to the investigators what they have to do. The actual door will just use this Sunlit Challenge value to see whether or not they're allowed in. Alright, so no, we don't want the door, we want the explore token. So same as with the password door over here, we're going to create a new event, 2 new events even. So Mosaic, Sunlit, no entry. Test if Sunlit Challenge is fewer than, not that, 2. Okay. Alright. So the door is black, featureless, and impenetrable. There is no visible way of gaining egress. Is it egress or ingress? think it's ingress. Alright. Which just means cancel, right? However, if you are allowed inside, this is for test. Sunlit challenge is equal to 2. Okay, you know how to open the door. Instigator, the what was it, cult sigil, whose player is able to their head and rub their belly, may explore. Okay, so once we've done that, I'll add a little explore action, and because this is an event, a cancel button. And yeah, now we have our button for exploring the sunlit chamber. Wrong way around. Okay, and here's our event, which is going to kick off this, exploring our final room. Alright, so this is going very well. Okay. The door is away, basking the mosaic chamber with rays of sunshine. The lit chamber tile, as indicated, remove this explore token. There's only one, so we just say remove that one. So add tile sunlit, remove token, explore mosaic sunlit. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to set this up, and yeah, we'll figure out a nice little ending for this. Alright. Okay, as such, I have now set up a little boss character in here. So with person token, you go into the sunlit chamber, a little text, a little tongue-in-cheek reference to all those other times you found healthy people in this sealed temple. And yeah, you're going to meet this lady. So remember earlier, I had that idea to have twists in which there's an easy ending where one person escapes, leaving the rest to die. So that's going to happen now. Also, we're going to like sprinkle some little clues about that throughout the scenario, just to remind everyone. That's getting back into good writing and not scenario design. So you come in here, you talk to this lady. The chamber greets you with an off-putting smile. You have done well, traveler. Whoops. You have earned your treasure. Okay, so she's going to tell you at this point how you have the opportunity to fuck over everyone else, and you're going to have a choice whether to do it or kind of band together. Alright. Treasure. So the kind of natural choices would be there's my treasure, or how do I get out? And again, the answer to both is basically the same, because that's what I figured out is if the person has the cult sigil and takes it to the exit, I'll explore token here in a minute, then they can escape, and the sigil will grant them untold riches at the expense of their fellow colleagues. Alternatively, you could refuse, destroy the sigil, and then you have to kill this lady, and then the curse is broken, you can leave, etc. Okay, so that's basically what she says in response to both of these. So, then let's sunlit, how to leave. You hold in your hand. Actually, better keep it vague, because the person talking to her might not be the person with the sigil. already discovered key salvation and fortune. The cult sigil glows as if in response to the person's words. The sigil will grant you, in ours the words, egress, temple, and with luck and fortune for the rest of your days at the meager sacrifice of your friends' pitiful lives. Okay, so right, let's move on to this little event explaining what they have to do now. So let's move the camera over to the exit. And investigator the cult sigil may unlock the temple door for them and them alone. Looking at the temple and leaving their friends to their doom. Place an explore token as indicated. I'm going to add a new token. Okay, and I'm going to come back to the sunlit chamber. Okay, I think I should have made that an event earlier, because I think after this you're going to want to maybe come back and reconsider your choice. I don't know, I'm just making these names up as I go along. I'll probably just go through the dialogue to find them again. Investigator holding the court may so choose to deny the judge's twisted design, destroy the sigil, and force her to release you all. Okay, and then we have our cancel or destroy the sigil option. Okay, and when we get to here, let's just use a value we already have. We'll take Sunlit Challenge and turn it up to 3. Okay, that way, if the person holding the sigil isn't here, or if they briefly decide not to destroy it, they can come back and destroy it later. So let's talk to her, and let's just let's change this just so it leads to an event. So we'll get rid of these and change this to Temple Boss first and second. Right, so let's just skip ahead to when I've done that. Okay, so we've got our Temple Boss token here, which has no dialogue anymore. So instead it leads to initially Temple Boss first, if Sunlit Challenge equals 2, which it will have to be to get in here. Then she gives you a smile, you've done well, where's my treasure, how do I get out, etc, etc. And then once you've done all that, Sunlit Challenge will be 3. So you might cancel that. And for destroy the sigil, let's just put a spawn in here because that will create a monster. So we'll come back to that later. Go back to the token. Later encounters. Go forth, my child. Seek your riches. Claim your riches, that's better. You already know what your riches is. An investigator holding the cult sigil. They destroy it and demand to be put out as a team. Okay, so we have our council option, and as before, destroy the sigil. So whether you do it before or now, both ways will lead to spawn 0, which will replace this lovely lady with a final boss for the team to defeat. Okay, whatever it is, put it in here, and obviously remove the person token. Right, so what should it be? Let's make this one a custom monster. Let's just see how those work. So let's just make it a regular cultist. It's just a lady in a robe, surprisingly less dangerous than the priest of Dagon, seemingly. But no such luck. Okay. Actually, let's sort the name out first. Temple boss. I should really come up with a name for it. I'm not going to call it the boss. The boss frowns. You have offended me by rejecting my generous offer. Now you shall all die. Okay. Remove this person token and place a cultist as indicated. Okay, so it's actually not going to be a cultist. It's going to be a custom monster. Annoyingly, you can't do that from the plus menu. You have to do it up here. So, new custom monster, temple boss. Okay, so there we go. All right. So yeah, once she exists, we can set her up. She's a cultist. Her name is Boss. Yeah, sometimes it puts the before the monster's name, sometimes it doesn't. It's a bit inconsistent. And right. Also, in regards to health, health on its own, pretty self-explanatory. Just say, I don't know, 15 good health for a boss, or per hero. It's not exactly as it sounds. Per hero means the number in here multiplied by the number of heroes plus whatever you put here. So right now with 2 heroes, this would be a health of 21. 15 plus 3 multiplied by 2 is 6. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. So you can set anything you like about the monster by having action events from these. So for instance, activations. I'm going to create one event that happens when it's time for this monster to activate. So let's call this boss. We'll make that a new group of events. Boss activates. So we'll have her always move 2 spaces, and then we'll have like a list of attacks. Temple boss moves 2 spaces towards nearest investigator and attacks all investigators on her space. Okay, so we could have multiple events branching off from this if we want it to be different each time. So have like attacks whoever has the lowest strength or lowest agility, etc. But yeah, let's just have her attack everyone on a space. Then we'll have a few little events just for different attacks. So I'm not going to go super overboard with the text. Just give these names. Boss attack 1. Don't forget to set this to random. 2 and boss attack 3. Okay, so just something pretty basic just for now. The temple boss kicks you. Suffer 2 damage. Strength negates. The temple boss starts throwing shit. Suffer 3 face down damage. Agility negates. I don't know. The boss flails at you randomly. Let's just make this one you suffer damage automatically. Suffer 1 damage. Just use the boss, and sometimes you can't fight her off. Alright, so you get the idea. It's the same for evade checks, horror checks, and investigator attacks as well. So you can set any number of attacks for unarmed attacks, spells, heavy weapons, firearms, bladed weapons. So you just add as many as you like, and it will choose randomly between these for each bladed weapon or whatever you like. But let's just leave those default. So that's pretty much the same. Okay, and pretty much finally, there's still a bit more to do, but now let's set up an event for when she's been defeated. Okay, so trigger when the temple boss has been defeated. The boss hits the floor and cries, "No, you defeated me." The spell is lifted and the temple door slides open. You all escape and live happily ever after. And then, of course, the scenario is complete. So that's nice. And just to tell the game that, we're going to assign the value end to 1. So this is like binary again. 1, yes, scenario's over, you win. Okay. So there's still a lot more to do, a lot more niggly little things to work in there. A few more events, some search tokens, and obviously all the Mythos events. But yeah, I think all in all, we have a functional scenario now. So yeah, that's looking good. Now, yeah, don't worry, the video's not over yet, so let's go into some detail. Okay, so what we're going to do now is write the events that happen if a person decides to go through with what the temple boss offers you. Take the idol, the sigil, and run for the exit. So first of all, as soon as a person has spoken to her, so let's see first, where's my treasure? This is how you escape, alright? So once you've done this, remember, sunlit challenge will be equal to 3. So once sunlit challenge is equal to 3, that's going to trigger a sort of end game sequence where there'll be different Mythos events, and that's most of it actually. Yeah, there's different Mythos events, so things that'll make it a bit difficult to maybe slow down the fleeing investigator in case people are trying to run after him and steal the item back, which is a game mechanic if you didn't already know. And then, once they get over here, obviously, they will have the chance to escape. So, an investigator on this space is holding the cult sigil. They to escape the temple, leaving their colleagues to die. Okay, so this is a token, so we only need one button. Escape. Right, so what should we have here? I suppose we shouldn't make it too easy. Perhaps if there's another investigator in the same room, they have the opportunity to stop them. Chance to stop them. Alright. So what's event 0? That's a new one. Okay. So we'll call this throne escape. Throne room escape. The investigator brandishes the, actually I should say you, brandish the sigil and the door begins to open. Other investigators in the throne room may attempt to may make a steal item attempt now. So for those of you who don't know, to steal an item from another investigator, you have to roll higher than them in strength, agility, or observation, I think. So I'm just going to explain that now in case, just so people know. Okay. And then that person is either going to succeed, sigil stolen, or sigil not stolen. Alright, so if successful, then the scenario obviously will just go on as normal. Okay, so as the sigil changes hands, the door slams shut again with a bang. Okay, but if it is stolen, then that ne'er-do-well will escape with their sigil, leaving everyone to die. Okay. And you escape. You never feel bad about your colleagues because you are a terrible person. The scenario is not complete. Okay, so that's another potential ending. So again, I'm going to assign end equals 1. Okay, and so let's see. Got the everyone escapes, one person escapes. The only other potential ending would be if someone is eliminated. So let's just do that now. Event 0 eliminated. And obviously this is a triggered event when someone is eliminated. So someone dies, it makes you sad, you give up. And the scenario is not complete. Okay. I feel like I'm extra phoning it in terms of dialogue now, but this is going on for a while. Trying to make this concise. Alright, so that's looking pretty good. I think we've got all our endings straightened away. Okay, henceforth, let's write some Mythos events. Alright, so for the Mythos events is when you're definitely going to want to consult your notes or make more notes. So we're back on our Google Docs. I've written 12 Mythos events that can happen, and the reason you want to make notes is you can avoid doing the same thing too many times. Going to mix it up between horror, damage, space out your spawns. Always definitely want to throw in a few spawns if you can, because it's a good way to kind of balance out damage and horror. Whereas if it's just on Mythos Events, then you're unlikely to really get anyone. Whereas, yeah, if someone's unlucky fighting, they could really take some damage. I've also got 5 events here that are going to happen once the sigil has been activated and the end game has started. So these are going to start happening randomly. As you can see, some of them help the person holding the sigil, some of them help everyone else. And the last one, Rubble, that just kind of blocks off the exit, makes it a bit more difficult. Alright, so now that we know what we're doing, let's head back to Valkyrie and make this a reality. Okay, so as you can see, we've got Mythos events from 0 to 12. We don't actually want Mythos 0 here, we just put that in, so we could copy these out. So yeah, now we have 1 to 12, and this can be Mythos 0. Okay, so this is going to trigger when the Mythos event starts, and these are going to be in order. And it's going to decide which one goes where, because we're going to test, and these are only going to be activated if the round number is correct. So round basically means turns. So this one's going to be round 1, Mythos event 1, then round 2, and so on. So we're going to assign each of these a number denoting its turn. So this one is, there we go, round 2. And so on. Okay, so now we've got our Mythos events, 1 to 12. Each of them is only going to activate on their corresponding turn. So now we just need to fill in those effects we wrote down earlier. Okay, so number 1, no effect. So we're just going to write some spooky cover for some flavor text. You all feel be trapped here forever. No immediate effect. So, as usual in Mansions of Madness, first Mythos event just gives you a free break. You're just still getting used to the map, figuring out what you're supposed to do. Lets you off on that one. Right, so the next one we've written down is a random investigator will suffer 1 horror, will negates. So to do this, we're going to type open squiggly rnd colon hero close squiggly. Random hero. Alright. Okay, after that, we have event 3 where we are going to spawn a cultist. So after this, there's going to be no flavor text for Mythos 3. Instead, we are going to have button 1, which is going to lead into multiple spawns. And it is going to randomly pick whichever is accessible. So we're going to, each of these is going to spawn a cultist. That's going to test for these explored values we put in earlier. So maybe this is going to be early in the game, so we're not going to go like deep in. It's going to be antechamber or storage chamber. So explored storage has to be equal to 1 for this one. It's going to be spawn cultist storage. This one is going to be for the antechamber. Explore antechamber equals 1. And the last one, of course, is just going to be in the throne room, which is not going to need a test because obviously they've explored the throne room. Alright, so we get random, storage, put that in there, and we'll just put some flavor text. Approach goes with a knife. Test as indicated. Okay, yeah, that all looks alright. We can just copy that to each of the other ones and we're all sorted. That one's in the antechamber. And finally, one in the throne room. Okay, so they've got a cultist to deal with now. That's for round 3. Okay, that should basically cover all you need to know to fill in the rest of those. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and do that, and we will move on to our endgame events. Alright, I'm just going to talk about this quickly as well. This isn't just related to Mythos events, but I'm just going to show you how to start fires in the game, just like a responsible parent would. So let's just write some flavor text here. A torch falls off the wall, setting room blaze. Place fire as indicated. You don't actually have to say as indicated either, because it could just be putting it down randomly. What's important is that the app knows fire has been lit, and to do that we just click $, $fire equals 1. And then when this happens, come the Mythos phase, it will tell you to spread the fire. Okay, and just to save us from putting a token down, we're just going to click camera until it says highlight. And I don't know, doesn't matter, let's put it here. So it's just going to tell you put fire in that space. Players are going to know, app's going to know, everyone's happy with the fire. And of course, right at the end, we just want one more scenario event for if we run out the clock. So this is going to be Mythos 13. And when this happens, this is going to be another instance where the game can end. So end equals 1. And we'll just write the magic of the temple overwhelms you and you all die. The investigation is not complete. Okay, so that's another bad ending. And yeah, now we're ready to move on to those endgame events. So those are going to work a little bit differently because these are all based on turn order, whereas those are going to start after we've spoken to the boss lady, which could happen at any time. So I've set up this Mythos endgame, this is called. It's triggered by the Mythos event, and it's going to initiate one randomly of these 5 items every turn, every Mythos event, but only after this has happened. I'll set it to equals 3 exactly, because there's a chance that the investigators will smash the Elder Sigil, and then none of these will apply, because as you may remember, these are all relating to the Sigil and the person trying to escape with them. Okay, so I've added in another little thing here. If the investigators choose to destroy the Sigil, then it assigns Sunlit Challenge +1 again, adding it up to 4, which means those endgame events will no longer happen. Alright, so back to this. Alright, so I'm just going to write those in there, and then we will have a satisfying endgame sequence, which will make it a bit difficult, maybe a little bit easier, for the investigator to get out and leave their colleagues to die. More dramatic, if nothing else. Alright. Alright, so pretty sure the only thing we have left to do now is set up some starting items. So it's pretty much exactly the same as what we saw before with items. It's just we're just going to click this starting item to true. So give it a good name as well. Going to call it, I don't know, starting gun. Like I said before, guns not so bad. We can just do what the game intended. Just have firearm and click for all the ones we don't want. So not too many. But unfortunately with starting items we can't use the little cheat we did earlier where you just set up multiple and have it pick randomly, unfortunately. So yeah, let's just say it's a gun and it can't be like the Tommy gun. Traits, firearm, so a weapon and a firearm, but not any of these. So not a Tommy gun, not a shotgun, and not a carbine rifle. There are others, but let's just say not that one. So when we click save and test, there we go, we've got a snub-nosed revolver, not too bad. And also a flux stabilizer, because sometimes it randomly assigns heroes with starting items, which is Kate, somewhere or others, starting item. Alright, and there are our events, so yeah. Alright, let's just do one more item just to get the idea of how it works. So this one, let's do a specific item this time. So starting item true, and we're going to make this one candles. So we've picked our candles and we're going to take away this trait here. So it's not a specific trait, it's a specific item. This is candles. Starting candles. Okay, so if we test again, there we go, now we've got candles and the .41 Derringer. Alright, so hopefully you'll get the idea. So yeah, looking good. Alright, hopefully you found that helpful, just covering the basics. So hopefully feeling confident in cracking out a basic scenario of your own. I'm going to make a few little follow-up videos where I kind of go into depth on how I've done some of the more complicated bits of some of my past scenarios, just to give you kind of an idea of how to do something similar yourself. So yeah, hopefully you all enjoyed. Drop a comment if you have any questions. I'll try and get to you, or better yet on the Discord. And yeah, good luck everyone and have fun. Bye.